Welcome to the South Cobb Business Association podcast. Thank you for streaming. I'm Kerrick Butler. South Cobb is open for business, so let's prosper together. Today, I'm joined in the studio by Tre Hutchins, and he has a lot to share with you today about why it's so important for the business community to partner with the education community. Tre, thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you. What honor.
So, Tre, tell me one of the things that you've already been working on.
Well, in the community, we have been strategic about ensuring that since I took office 3 years ago, that we would bring the community into the schools. That we know that education is really the backbone of every community. But we also know that it doesn't work well unless you have community engagement, unless you have the community supporting it, whether it's your business community, your faith community, your civic organizations. And so we have been intentional about making sure that whatever we do for schools, we do it together as a community. When they say it takes a village, I honestly believe that's the only way we're going to have great schools. And so we have been strategic about ensuring that the community is involved, even with our local PTA or PTSA, our local school councils or principal advisory councils, whatever it is that we have going on in our schools, we invite the community in to be a part of that.
That's awesome. So how could, whether it's business community or other communities, get involved with the schools? What are some ways you recommend?
Well, the very first thing that I suggest is partner with your local civic organizations. They already have a pulse on the community. Here in the South Cobb area, we have a lot of great community organizations. We have the Mableton Improvement Coalition, the Austell Community Task Force, the Powder Springs Community Task Force as well. Those are the three that I know right off the top of my hand. I'm a member of all three, but they all support schools and support our communities. And so get involved and get invested in what they're doing. They have, each one of those groups have an arm that supports schools directly. And so I say that that is one of the ways. Every one of our schools here in Cobb County has a local PTA or PTSA. That's the Parent Teacher Association, Parent Teacher Student Association, which is part of the National PTA organization. And so that organization is a group of teachers and parents and students that come together to help support different initiatives at those schools. Fundraisers, different events, things of that nature. That is also one of those ways that you can join that membership organization and just really, it's almost like hands and feet on the ground. Being part of those organizations and the culture and climate of those schools usually follows those PTAs. There's principal advisory councils or school councils may be, most people may be familiar with that term, where different civic organizations, our pastors, parents, they all come under the leadership of our principal and find out what the culture and climate of the school is going to be and how we're going to move forward as a community through that operation. The principal, he or she gives the data. They say, well, this is one of the initiatives we want to work on. And then they meet with this council to help have the framework on how we're going to move forward to execute those things. And so I think those are three great ways that we can also do that. But one area that I want to focus on is partners in education. Partners in education as it relates to our business community. Oftentimes I see schools reaching out to the top, those Fortune 500 companies, and that's great. We've seen some great investment from companies like LGE. We've had great investment from Lockheed Martin and companies like that, Six Flags Over Georgia, and that's great. But there's opportunity for our local businesses to also get engaged with supporting our schools. Many of our schools have different programmings and different themed events happening at their schools where our local business can get involved. I'm the PTA president at Lindley Middle School, where my seventh grader goes, and we were looking for someone to help support us with one of our back-to-school events. And I reached out to one of our developers, someone who's developing a townhome community in our community. And I reached out to them and I said, hey, I need someone to help me pay for a jump house. And it was nothing for them to say, you know what, we're going to pay for 3 of them. And we let them come and set up a table. And they were able to engage the community and say, hey, this is what we're also building in the community if you know anyone that's looking. They were able to market at the same time. But at the same time, they helped us to meet a need for the children at Lindley Middle School. And so there's different ways and different opportunities that our local business community can help support schools. It doesn't always have to be a school supply drive or anything like that, but there's different things that each school has and has need of, and being, again, on that principal advisory council, being tapped into your PTA and being tapped into those civic organizations helps to feed that information out to those organizations.
That's awesome, and I'm looking forward to planning with you the first ever South Cobb Business Association Education Appreciation Month.
Yes. We're excited. Everyone knows I love our principals. I love our schools. We have great schools. We have great principal leaders. And while we may have Teacher Appreciation Month and we honor the secretaries, we honor everyone. The ones that we really don't give any appreciation to is our principals, and they're the ones that are leading the ship.
Right.
Sure to say. And so this time around, we will look into having our civic organizations come together, those that help support schools, and we're going to honor our principal leaders and for the work that they do to ensure that our communities have safe schools, that our children are learning, and that we have a thriving community.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to being a part of that, and thank you for being in the studio with us today.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you for streaming. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, and follow. And remember, South Cobb is open for business, so let's prosper together.